And we are live. Only 2 minutes behind schedule. Hopefully we'll get it to a point where we'll have some people waiting on the race and no one's gonna miss anything. Looks like we have some issue with our leaderboard here. But we're just gonna be over here watching some practice while we get ready for qualifying. Gonna be an interesting race today. Let's see. I think we're gonna have a pretty good turnout today, probably around 12, similar to recent races. Gotta make sure I update our Instagram and I'll make sure we are ready, all good and ready for this race. Alright, so we are at Monza today. A beautiful sunny day for it too. This race 8 of our GTC Legend cars from the 60s. We have Rizzerinis, we got GTOs, we have Alfa Romeos. It has been a fun season to watch and commentate on. We're getting close. I believe we only have 1 or 2 more races left. And then we're going to go through a little bit of a testing season for different ideas we have. And I am debating whether or not I should continue commentating for next season or if I should race next season and just stream the race like that. I might do every other season. But it has definitely been fun every week getting on streaming and commentating as best as I can for these pretty exciting races, and it's very difficult because sometimes, and those of you who have been watching for a while know this, but sometimes we have 2 races and the beginning of both races are extremely exciting and extremely hard to like actually commentate about what's going on because just everybody's crashing and swerving in front of each other, crashing into more walls and each other, making a big mess. But then the rest of the race is pretty evenly spaced out. There's not a lot of actual battle going on. Sometimes we do have those battles though. So as of right now, just in practice laps, and this has been open for quite a while. We have Pro Darwin in first with 1 minute 40 seconds, Rodan 1.5 seconds behind, Saws somewhere in there, Dean 2.2 seconds behind. So that's Pro in first, Rodan in second, Sauce in third, Dean in fourth, Racebrick in fifth, Air in sixth, Drillin in seventh, Spangler in eighth, Gunner in ninth. Looks like we're also gonna have Moto today. I don't see Kirby. Hopefully he shows up. We do still have like 20-ish minutes until the race actually begins, or qualifying begins. there's Mike Kirby. Alright, so earlier today I was messing around with OBS, the streaming platform, to try to get some better video quality, because the entire series that we've had subpar quality, less pixels on screen, and lots of just weird glitching that's going on throughout the stream. So I've been trying to fix that, and I noticed at the start of the stream it was actually worse, and I think I got it back to where it was before. But if you have any tips for me, please let me know, just so I can make sure the stream quality is good as possible, and you can enjoy the race as much as possible as well. So right now we're just spectating drilling in the number 98. This is what is this? Griffith, right? The TVR. Definitely an interesting car, a fun little car. Definitely more towards the back. It's front. Is it? I actually don't know if it's front engine or rear engine. But a very small, older, obviously sports car. pretty quick in the corners. I think the way it's weighted front to back is pretty nice. Suspension obviously was expected from that era. And pretty good sounding too. Yep. Here is another one. It's Gunner in the 62. And another one. Moto in the 95. Here's Sauce up here in the, this is the Alfa Romeo. Yeah, Alfa Romeo in the number 34. This is a very nice sounding car. We're seeing some pretty close practice going on right here, actually. You don't get this often. Oop, race pick pulling up quick, right behind Tom, and going right past him. What's it gonna look like in this corner? Similar to past races, this is actually unlike past races. This is a very gradual first corner. That's what's so interesting about Monza is it is an entertaining track, but the corners are very gradual compared to some we've raced on before. It is an older track. There's ovalish aspects to it. A small amount of banking you can see. But it allows for more side-by-side action. A little bit, it encourages more bold action, if that makes sense. So it makes what it doesn't have in tight cornering and excitement in braking, it makes up for in just the type of racing which is capable of. So yeah, but this first corner that they have is, you can see down here, I'm putting my mouse over it to try to help, this area right here. It's very gradual. It barely reaches 90 degrees before turning back out again. But it's important, because if you have too wide coming out, just starting off, all with skidding tires and such, and they end up getting 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide in places down here to try to pass each other. Then they all have to slow down, some slow more than others, because it's not as well known of a turn of where the braking points are. So there's definitely going to be some more back and forth, some tapping going on into this corner, and then being able to keep on going at your higher speed and not getting spun out at such a high speed throughout is going to be interesting, because a lot of these other tracks, you go through that first corner and you slow down a lot. So if you get tapped and stuff, it's not as big of a deal when you're going 20 versus when you're going 60. Those aren't accurate speeds, by the way, just something to help you visualize it. Here's Pro, we got Air-Cooled and Dean. Here's Mike Kirby today. A livery we haven't seen, at least I don't remember seeing. The number 47 on his Cobra. I always like the model from this mod with this Cobra. Lots of detail. You can see some mounts there, and then if you look inside, it's like support mounts, and then you have the radiator hoses or something like that. And a very detailed one. You can look all the way into that light, and there's reflections and stuff. It's very good, at least model-wise, very aesthetically pleasing. Alright, the black and white number 55 Ferrari GTO. This used to be Dean's car, actually. Looks like Game Boy's driving it now. It does make it pretty confusing on my end to have all these cars switching in and out of different drivers. I would prefer if they all just stayed with their car, but I understand the motive behind it. Game Boy here, obviously much more practiced, faster driver. I say that as he crashes directly into a wall. Usually he is. He's catching up very nicely to Mike. I know this is still practice, but practice can be a very good show of what's going to happen in the race. Not necessarily by the times on the leaderboard, but by how the person drives, how well they know the track. And just by how the person drives, you can see in practice, you can see how well they know the track, if they're confident or not, and how confident they are not only in their track or the knowledge of the track, but also their car, and how familiar they are with the car. So right now we're just in a hood view of Game Boy's GTO. This does remind me, it is just about time to take the news van around Monza. While practice is still on, I have created a tradition of every single time in this race, I run the news van around the track. Maybe one of these days I'll actually write it down and compare tracks similar to Top Gear. There we go. We got a speedometer now. And it can help me see which gear I'm in and stuff like that. What is our lap time going to be? It's like we're almost topping out here, 128 kilometers an hour, which I would prefer to be miles per hour, but yeah. There goes Mike. Oh, didn't get shown on the leaderboard because we have more people today, which is actually a good thing. I'm gonna up that to what, 14. We gotta go again. Alright. Hopefully this doesn't go over into qualifying time. just... I am not sure why he did that, but he did. Probably just for fun, but yeah. Well, we do have time now to switch over to our Imperial units. Very superior. Alright. We're just gonna have to take another lap, I guess. Probably should do a recording and just play it over the live stream when we stream and we're waiting for qualifying. Oh, I see what it is. They're all on a call together. I bet they are plotting against me. Because Dean did it, then Mike did it, Moto didn't do it. Okay, we gotta figure out what's going on here. This is interesting, to say the least. Is Air-Cooled gonna do it? Yes, he is. Maybe we won't get a lap right now, but it sure is fun. Okay, yeah, that's definitely it. This is gonna be a good clip. Worst lap in history. More crashing than breakfast. That was good. Brake checked him. GP News Van. More like GP Demolition Derby Van. Alright, is he? Yes, he is. Brake check. Oh, surprising. He actually wasn't going to hit me. So yeah, this is GP Simsports. Just practicing right now. I was trying to do the GP Simsports News Van lap, but it seems to be that some of these drivers are having a fun time running into the back of me for no real apparent reason. So that's the real goal right now, is how far can I go without getting hit in the back. Oh, they're congregating. So that sign on the back, 70 miles an hour, is wrong actually. We got 77. So yeah, our lap with getting hit in the back over and over again is a 2:53. It could be worse. Alright, we got another guy coming up behind me. He's probably going to hit me. If he hits me, I'm not going to try to get a clean lap, because that's going to be impossible. We'll have to implement that more seriously next time. Alright. Didn't get hit. That's a plus. Alright, well, we didn't have enough time, which is alright. We are now moving into qualifying. So, We have all these drivers. They are leaving the pits. Let's get this off. Yeah. All right. All these drivers leaving the pits. I am actually curious though. Will that show? Okay, no, it doesn't. That is fine. That is 100% okay. All right. So yeah, this is qualifying. We got 10 minutes of qualifying. Right now, 9.5 minutes left. This is all the drivers out laps, meaning they all start at different times, usually. So it's hard to tell exactly who's where in these first 1 or 2 laps. But what it means when I say they're on their out lap is means they are starting from a stop position, whereas they are qualifying laps, their fastest laps that will actually be used to figure out what position they're starting in, is going to be based on their second, third, fourth, fifth lap, however many laps. But if they start from stop position, they are starting from position from, there's no speed, no momentum. But when they enter the second, third, fourth lap, they're already going however many miles an hour they're going. And then that will lower their time drastically, and that will actually decide what position they're starting in. So they're just in their out lap right now. This can give us a good view of what it's going to look like, but it's started counting since the second the timer started up top. So those who waited to start will not have a good out lap time, which is fine. A little bit of sliding, not enough braking from Mike. Now Rodan in the GTO. He has the fastest time as far as outlaps go. A 1:58. Okay, so we're about 4 minutes in. We got 6 minutes left to qualify before race number 1. For those of you who are just joining, we have 2 races every night. Well, I guess every week. Same time. Usually the race starts around 9:20 to 9:30. Looks like as of right now, it's going to start at roughly 9:30. So we'll be right on the edge there. We'll go about to 10 to 10:30. All depending on if there's any setbacks or anything. With 5.5 minutes left, we have a pretty good lineup going on right now. We have Pro in first, Rodan in second, Dean in third. Now I'm really happy to see Dean in third in a podium position. I hope he gets podium because the past few races he's had some struggles that weren't entirely his fault. I definitely recommend going back and watching the ends of races, at least. So yeah, 5 minutes ago we have Dean in third, Sauce in fourth place, Race Brick in fifth, Game Boy in sixth, Kirby in 7th, Air in 8th, Drillin in 9th, Moto in 10th, Spengler in 11th, and Gunner in 12th. And of course, the news van, the fastest car here, by far, of course, in last. Looks like Rodan's having some struggles in this lap. Not sure what's going on. He's letting people pass him. Now the fan of 2nd place, maybe? A couple of viewers popping in and out, and we haven't even started the actual race yet. It's good to see. I'm kind of falling in love with the hood views, just because we get such a great sound, and then also you can kind of see more of the actual movement of the car than you would in the air. So you can kind of see it sliding more, you can see the bumpiness more, you can see it kind of go up on the side as it turns, and then you can see kind of the shakiness conveyed by the driver when he's trying to catch up or trying to get a faster lap. So the qualifying has 2 minutes to go, and as of right now we have Pro in 1st place. We saw that coming. Sauce in 2nd place, also very good, although I'm surprised Sauce hasn't done better. Game Boy in 3rd, Rodan in 4th, Dean in 5th. However, Dean has gone back a few positions. He's only 1.3 seconds behind. And this is qualifying, so it could change, but that's what it is at right now. We got Air Cools in 6th, Racebrick in 7th, Kirby in 8th, Drillin in 9th, and Gunner in 10th. Moto in 11th, and Spengler in 12th. Wow, a substantial jump up for Dean. Dean was really pushing his limits there. He is now in 2nd place, only 0.7 seconds behind Pro, which is ahead of Sauce. That is very impressive. I am very much looking forward to this race if Dean's going to be that fast throughout the entire race. That's going to be very interesting. Let's see if we can find him and see what it looks like for him. Alright, here we go. This is Dean in his number 4 Bizzarini. What is he doing that's making him so fast? Also, this is now overtime, so This is the final lap of qualifying before we get on to race number 1, starting at 9:30 p.m. The absolute worst case scenario is that this fast time for him was accidental. I sincerely hope it was not accidental, and he really kind of got into the groove and he stays there, you know. Now, getting into the groove and staying in it is very hard with this group, because every single time so far, I think, there has been a crash. First race, first corner, that's just how it goes. Everyone crashes. And that often, it always, okay, that was, I mean, it was overtime, so, you know, it's fine. But it always gets me out of, you know, the groove, out of that mindset. So I always end up screwing up or doing something wrong, and then I get stuck in that groove instead. And it's very easy trap to get in, especially when you just get spun out or hit right off the bat. Alright. So that was qualifying. Looks like we're starting with Pro in first place, Dean in second place, Rodan in third place, Sauce in fourth place, which is very surprising. Sauce starting in fourth place, that's kind of crazy. Game Boy in fifth place, Air Cooled in sixth, Race Brick in seventh, Mike Kirby in eighth, Drillin in ninth, Gunner in 10th, Moto in 11th, and Tom Spangler in 12th. Usually Sauce has an Italian flag up. Looks like he has an American flag up as of right now. That's interesting. I see some more people popping in. Hopefully they're actually here for a race and not an accidental click. But I'm just now seeing this, and I would now wonder if Moto was watching my stream. He says, it's conspiracy, not bad luck. He's referring to that earlier moment when I was getting hit many times. Do not know why my screen is doing that, but we're just gonna rotate it. What? Oh, interesting. Didn't know I had those controls. Apparently I have rotation controls on my keyboard. Oh, we are starting 3 wide. This is gonna be very interesting. I think we should make that a t-shirt with like a bunch of these cars hitting the GP Simsports news fan, where the the text underneath is, it's conspiracy, not chance, or something like that. I think that would actually be a pretty crazy t-shirt. I'd buy it. Or not bad luck, you know. That would be fun. I'm actually going to propose that to Air Cooled. That would be a fun t-shirt to have. Speaking of t-shirts, I'm actually wearing mine right now. The GP Simsports black logo t-shirt, along with the black logo mug. I have both of those. They're very nice and very cheap. I have the site linked in the description, and I very much recommend you go and check it out. Alright, here we go. They're off. Oh, bad start for Drillin there. Bad start for Sauce. Wow, impressive. You don't often get a bad start from Sauce. Alright. Going 3 wide. 2 wide now into corner 1. This is what I was talking about, how it's going to be a little interesting. I would be very excited to see them pull this off, but it looks like they're not. Both Gunner and Race Break go off the track. Hopefully they don't spin out into other cars. That was a relatively clean first corner. Very impressed by that. Of course, we got Pro way up there, just doing very well. Rodan's slowing down. Whoa. Rodan's slowing down way quicker than Dean was wanting to. So Dean was doing his very aggressive brake line and pulled in front of Rodan, and that didn't go well for him. But looks like Rodan was able to recover very well. Some sliding back there from Drillin, I think that is. So Dean in second place. This is very good news for Dean, as he has been struggling with other drivers in these past races. I'm just waiting for a crash to happen, but maybe there won't be. That would be very interesting. I mean, they're very closely grouped together. You can see on the map all that green. Rodan braking later than Dean, which is very interesting. Whoa, Game Boy braking, air-cooled turning in front of him, which led to air-cooled spinning out. It looks like Kirby also went off the track due to other reasons. Dean now pulling away from Rodan. Ooh, and Pro setting the fastest lap. Sauce now in 4th position. Kirby making up positions. Ooh, an early break on Dean and a late break on Rodan. Bring them back together a little bit, but it depends on how they accelerate out of this corner and what their line is. A little bit of bump drafting. Ooh, early break Dean, late break Rodan. Looks like it didn't go in Rodan's favor though, as he went into the wall. Let's see if he can just quickly find Dean. We can get locked onto his car. Alright, here we go. Definitely pulling away from Rodan, but Sauce is pulling up to Rodan. So Rodan has more problems to worry about now. Pro is a whopping 5 seconds away. Alright, a little bit less exciting up here now. Kirby looks like he's been going back and forth with Tom. Speeding up again. It's pretty far behind the rest of the back though. Here's Game Boy in 5th place. Looks like Drone's close behind him, but there's no way Game Boy's gonna pose much of a threat to Sauce. Let's get a hood camera on here and kind of view it from Racebrick's perspective. A little bit of concrete there. More grass than I was expecting. Good braking point. Looks like Driven is getting pretty close to Game Boy, actually. Ten minutes to go on race number 1. a little bit of sliding there. It's a good thing that these drivers have practiced, because it's hard to keep those under control once they start sliding. Not too much action as of now. Looks like these guys have calmed down a little bit. It was just some minor battles. Pro set his new record of the fastest lap again. An entire 8 seconds ahead of Dean. I really think he's going to get podium this race. And if he does this well next race, I'm certain he can get podium the second race too, which will really bring up his championship scores. Air-cooled looks like he just passed race brick back there. I'm kind of surprised Racebrick isn't so far ahead as he usually is, but it looks like he did have a car change, which would explain some of that. Air-cooled is bouncing off the wall. Slowed him down enough for Racebrick to pass him quite easily, actually. But Air-cooled looks like he doesn't want to give that up. Oh. And there Air-cooled goes. Looks like Air-cooled has a faster car, but Racebrick looks like could be faster in the corners. Ooh. Oh, something happened to Dean. Air went off the track, but I was just looking at the leaderboard, and Dean must have gotten hit or slowed down drastically, because he just moved back 2 positions and lost like 4 to 5 seconds. What is going on up here? Alright, so here's Sauce. Looks like Dean was able to pass Sauce, but pulling out Sauce is always a very difficult task. Will he be able to go back and pass Rodan and be able to not get hit by Sauce? Whoa, Sauce looks like he was not expecting such a late braking. Sauce is almost out of his element today. Braking very roughly, not spinning out his car, but sliding and hitting the wall a little bit. Slowed him down enough to give Dean a little bit of pressure release, enough to put some pressure on Rodan. Hopefully getting back to his second position. Let's see if we can get back over to Dean here. Yep, there we go. 5 minutes to go. A third of the race left, and Dean is 0.4 seconds behind Rodan. It is very likely that he's going to catch up, and it's very surprising to me that he slowed down like 5 seconds behind Pro. It's a sad reality. Looks like Pro set his record again for the fastest lap. Again. 0.4 second difference still between Rodan and Dean. Slowly closing. closing quicker, but Dean ended up braking sooner. That could be a better play, as Rodan could have been braking later to try to maximize his momentum and speed, so he won't get past. But oftentimes that sort of strategy can be is taken out of proportion and ends up in some sort of crashing. Dean broke a little bit later that time. Looks like Sauce is back in 4th place. Dean is really putting the pressure on Rodan now, although he had a little bit of a slip up there that he recovered from very quickly and skillfully. Kirby moving up. Oh, he's going for the inside pass. Hasn't quite made it yet. He wasn't able to get enough under Rodan where Rodan felt uncomfortable closing back in. Oh. Ooh. That's what I'm saying. If you have even a little bit of slide, a little bit of heat, if you put those rear tires on that grass, it can be pretty fatal. Especially to your race. And yeah, you'll end up spinning out like he almost did. He was just barely able to recover, but he was trying to get under Rodan. Rodan was able to cut him off, so Dean, since he had such a more momentum-filled turn there, he ended up going further to the outside, hitting the grass, trying to not hit the grass, so turning out of it. But that ended up having him slide a little bit more off just an inch or two into the grass. Kind of like that, but there was grass there, and that loosened up his rear left. Almost throwing him out of balance. Actually, it did throw him out of balance, but he was able to recover quite well. But now he is still just under a second behind Rodan with only 2 minutes to go. I hope he does not spin out, because he's roughly 2 seconds ahead of Game Boy, so if he really does spin out, Game Boy's going to catch up. And I am rooting for Dean to get a podium after what we've seen in past races where his podium finishes, even in 2nd place, have been ruined at the last second. Not by him. Alright, a later break as usual in this corner, but it sent Dean out more and ended up slowing him down more, so he's going to have to make up that time somewhere. Pro again set his fastest lap. I'm really not surprised at this anymore, but this is like the 5th time he set the record for his fastest lap. So Dean is now just 0.3 seconds behind. Oh, he's gaining. Oh, a little bit of... Oh, he really pulled out there. Wow, and he really made that pass. But going into this corner, he broke a little earlier. Oh, almost a bump on the rear right of Rodan, but Rodan was able to brake later, pull in tighter, and pull right back ahead of Dean. But Dean is definitely getting closer to a solid pass here. Alright, a later break, a little bit more sliding. Whoa, sliding a lot. Okay, but he was able to recover it, and that actually was probably faster than if he had broke earlier and slowed down a little bit more. Which I know sounds like, oh wow, he would have gone slower if he went slower, but sometimes you need to slow down more in a corner so that you have enough control to really get on your line and accelerate at the right points, so you end up going faster by braking more or earlier. Rodan just throwing it, winging it off into the grass, driving right off to the side, no big deal. So this is the final lap. Whoa. Okay. Looks like Dean also knew it was the final lap. Well, Dean is not going to get lower than 4th, but he's definitely not going to be 3rd now. Well, there goes his podium. There goes your podium, Dean. You have one more race to make it up, but, yikes. Congratulations to Pro for getting first, of course. Rodan getting second. Game Boy getting third. Dean in fourth. So our podium winners for race number 1 are Pro in first, Rodan in second, Game Boy in third. A exciting race. Not sure why Dean he probably just forgot to brake in that last corner, which is sad because again his podium position was lost at the last second. Hopefully he doesn't make that mistake again, because I'd rather have third than fourth. Alright, let's take a brief look at the lineup for race number 2. Looks like we have Moto in first, Gunner in second, Drillin in third, Aircooled in fourth, Mike in fifth, Dean in sixth, Racebrick in seventh, Sauce in eighth, Rodan in ninth, Game Boy in 10th, Tom in 11th, and Pro Darwin in 12th. All right. And we're green. Drilling had a slow start. Oh, I have a feeling that there's going to be a little bit more hitting than there was in the previous start. Lots more wiggling back and forth. Dean sliding back quite far, actually. Looks like Kirby's going for his usual of getting into a very high position in the second race. Quite to the contrary of his first race positions. Whoa! A bump to Moto. Sending him off track way back in last. Now that was from Dean, actually. Game Boy trying to get the inside of Kirby here. Whoa, almost a bump. Definitely stressful start here. Mike Kirby hitting the wall. Let's see what's going on back here. Looks like it's calmed out a little bit now, but Kirby is going for a pass on Gunner. Some of the faster guys are still stuck in the back, leaving some of these slower guys to really fight it out. Oh! Kirby touched grass. That's all I gotta say. Kirby touched grass and head Game Boy off. Not good news for Kirby or Game Boy. Up here in first we have Racebrick in first, but Air-Cooled is very close. And Dean in third in his podium position again. Racebrick's heading the fastest lap. Will Pro beat it in just a moment here? No, he won't. That's very surprising. Looks like Racebrick is doing a very good job as of right now. Here's Moto, who got spun out first. All the way back up into 7th now. Very good for him. Kirby is way back in 9th, though. Very sad. Drillin, lots of smoke from Drillin as he is trying to pass on the outside of Rodan. Very bold move. Again, next corner, trying to pass on the outside of Rodan. And it looks like it's working. Yep. Rodan. Big pass. On Drillin. There we go. So it looks like Rodan made the pass on Drillin again. Not good news for Drillin. Ooh, an early break from Rodan, a late break from Drillin. Lots and lots of smoke as he tries to pass from the outside once again. Well, it looks like he's pulling onto the inside now. Oh, don't touch the grass. Oh. Just barely saved it, but he is not catching up to Rodan anytime soon. Oh, there we go. Pro's heading fastest lap. Beating Racebrick's fastest lap. Very, very good. Looks like Air-Cooled. Right up here. Right behind Racebrick. And Dean not far behind. This is very different than our first race where our leader was 7, 10, 12 seconds ahead of everyone else. These guys are all within 0.0 seconds of one another. Whoa! An accident caused by overreactions. Air-Cooled going off to the right, going to the left. Racebrick trying to avoid it, ended up crashing right back into him, leaving Racebrick in 4th, but Dean, on the other hand, is in 1st place. With Air-Cooled close behind, and Pro also close behind. I have very little doubt that Pro is going to end up taking 1st position. Whoa, Air-Cooled! Oh! Come on, Dean, save it. Dean bumped the inside of Air-Cooled, sending him into a very deep slide. Air-Cooled ended up sliding off the track, hitting the wall, but Dean recovered quite well. So now it's Dean in 1st, Pro in 2nd, and Air in 3rd. We got 10 minutes to go. Pro is on track to take 1st position from Dean, but I'm certain Dean would be happy with 2nd position. Any podium would do. The real question is, how long can he hold off 1st position? Slowly sliding back over to his correct line. Pro is slowly inching his way closer. A mere 0.55 seconds away from Dean. 0.53 seconds away from Dean. A little bit of a tighter line going into that corner for Dean, and then Pro had it in quite the opposite, actually, going tighter into the beginning, coming out wider in the end. Game Boy ended up passing Moto. I wish there was a way for me to see all the cars all at once, but it's very difficult capturing all this action. Pro is aging his way closer. He's only 0.2 seconds behind. Pro going out wider so we can end up on the inside. A good play to enter the turn a little bit later, coming from a little bit of a wider area so that you can come in from behind, but it looks like it didn't work. Now Pro is on the outside of the next turn, but he's sliding back to the inside. Ooh, and making a very clean pass, taking first position, but for how long? Sure hope Dean doesn't mess it up and get too excited here. Dean in second place, a little bit squirrely, but he held it down. Looks like he's inching pretty close to Pro now. Is he going to make a pass back in the next corner? That's the real question. Looks like he was planning on it, but Pro was able to slow down and get over before Dean had that chance. Whoa, whoa, Dean. Come on, Dean, save it. Dean hitting the wall ended up hitting his back out a little bit, sliding him over into the grass. He was able to save it, but he's nowhere near Pro now. And it looks like Pro is taking his spot many seconds ahead of everyone else once again in the second race. Let's go over to Air Cooled, who is behind Dean. Whoa, Air almost touching grass there. We got 6.5 minutes left. Kirby passing Sauce. Whoa, Sauce is having some issues back there. A rare sight to see. If you tuned in for last race, you'll remember Sauce and how good he is. And really, any of these races, Sauce is usually up top, first, second, third, along with Pro and Dean and Air and Rodan and Racebrick. Usually they switch out. Especially with this season when they switch out cars. Some of them are better at other cars than others of them, so it wibbles and wobbles back and forth, which is, it evens out over time for the actual championship, which is kind of the idea behind it, to make sure no one has a specific advantage to being good at a car and they all get experience through all the cars, and the fast guys aren't always ahead of everyone else. It works a little bit, just from my personal point of view. So it looks like Dean is holding down second position quite nicely. Like 2.5 seconds in between him and Air, so no big worries there. Looks like Air isn't really pushing it too hard, so I think as long as Air can get podium, he'll be happy. Although Rodan is slowly coming up behind him, inching closer. A mere 1.3 seconds behind him, so that's going to be interesting. Sauce passed it back on Moto. Very close to Kirby. Let's see if we can get back there before he makes the pass. Oh, he just made the pass. There's Moto and Kirby, and Sauce just passed both of them. We got 5 minutes to go. Moto really pushing it on the back of Kirby. Sauce not happy with 8th place and definitely wanting to push, but with no one to draft behind. Let's go back up to Dean. It looks like he has plenty of space, actually. Pro setting his fastest lap once again. Here's Sauce again.
What?
Looks like Sauce spun out. I was sorry, I was a little distracted at that moment. Otherwise, I would have captured it. So Sauce is way back on 10th now. He's been having some bad luck these 2 races, really pushing back his championship rating. He is a whopping 41 seconds behind the leader. I don't think he's ever been that far behind the leader before. Something's up there. Moto passing Kirby up ahead. Sauce has like no one around. Spangler spinning out all on his own. So Moto's passed Kirby. Looks like Kirby must have had another issue. So he's a good 40 seconds behind. Looks like Sauce is going to go ahead and pass him just a moment there. Yep, there he goes. I can't tell if it's kind of exciting or if it's just, yeah, that guy spin out and now that guy's spinning out and keeps spinning out. So Kirby looks like he's falling behind. Gotta slide through all of these guys just to get to the one I want. Very difficult. But looks like Kirby's starting to fall behind Sauce. Sauce is a pretty quick driver. I'm not sure what's going on there. Just accident after accident. So Dean's up here, still in second place with only 2.5 minutes left. There is hope for Dean. There's hope for a podium finish, finally, for Dean. Dean hasn't had a podium finish in a long time, and he's gone close over and over and over again. It's just a silly mistake messing him up. Air-cooled really pushing his luck. A little under a second behind Dean. Dean is definitely not trying to go first because he is a total 7 seconds behind. And there's under 2 minutes at this point. So I think what's going on Dean's side is just hold off everyone behind him. Hold off air-cooled. Don't let air-cooled make a stupid mistake resulting in him getting spun out or something. Don't let Dean make a stupid mistake resulting in them getting spun out. And as long as that happens and they don't spin out from grass, I think Dean's going to be happy in second. Air-cooled is definitely, you can see him inching closer. He's going to try for second. But if I were air-cooled, I'd be happy with third. But as we've seen, air-cooled doesn't seem to do that. He seems like if he has that opportunity, he's going to go for it. Now, in recent times, that spun out Dean 2 races ago. So, not sure what's going to happen there. But Pro, again, set his fastest lap of the race. Dean's now almost 8 seconds behind. So he just keeps falling farther and farther behind. It seems to be Pro operates best when there isn't anybody around. Very unlike me. Usually I have a set time that's very slow compared to other people, like 5 seconds behind in practice. But when we start racing, I don't actually know what it is, but I'm assuming it's because I'm noticing other people's lines and I'm following them more closely. But also, there's more incentive to keep going and to get ahead of people. So you're like, I'm going to pass that person. I need to do these 3 things to get faster to pass this person in race. And usually that speeds me up like that entire 5 seconds. But for some people, they're much faster without anybody around. So definitely more risk with people around, but a little bit more reward for some. This looks like it's going to be the last lap. We're going into overtime here. Yep, so this is the final lap. Pro, I'm calling it right now. Pro is definitely getting first. The air is getting close. Ooh, it's going to be a repeat. I really hope. Oh my. A serious sense of deja vu. Air is really trying for second. I bet Dean is really grateful for that gap that late braking from Air gave him. So, I mean, there's 0.2 seconds and between them and just a few hundred more feet. What's it going to be? Alright, Dean came in second. Finally a podium. Air-cooled was not happy about that. Hey, hit him in the back, so spun him out. Pit maneuver. A little fun at the end of the race. That was a very entertaining race. There was lots of action. I preferred the second race. Dean got second position. Finally a podium for Dean. A little party for Dean in my mind. Very good. Pro, of course, got first, but no one's surprised by that. Air-cooled failed at passing Dean, and Dean was able to hold off any sort of risky move. Very good. Altogether, a very solid race by Dean. Very good, very impressive. Very happy with it. For personally, I would like to get started in doing after a race like interviews. So if someone did exceptionally well, like Dean did here, able to really just keep up, get where he wanted to be, hold off, and just perform well. If we could do an interview for something like that, but usually for an entire hour after, these guys are preoccupied organizing and planning next race. So this is something's gone wrong with the car, but that's just a weird glitch. This was a good race. I enjoyed it. We can look at the stats here. We got Pro in first, Dean second, Aircold third, Rodan fourth, Racebreak fifth, Adrenaline sixth, Game Boy seventh, Moto eighth, Sauce ninth, which is crazy. Sauce does not usually get that low. Mike in 10th, Gunner in 11th, and Tom Spangler in 12th. So yeah, this was GP Simsports, Race 8, GTC 60s Legends. We'll be back next week for one of our final races. I think we might do one more after that. I'm excited to see how this championship is going to turn out. I'm definitely rooting for Dean here. Dean has been a very good driver and is very helpful to people who are aspiring drivers. So yeah, GP Simsports. See you guys next week.